I never thought I'll actually steer away from a Windows desktop to a laptop, but with GPUs being extremely difficult to get your hands on without paying over MSRP price for a scalper to sell you one on eBay or something, I had no choice but to buy a laptop. And the laptop I personally went ahead and purchased, it's the OMEN 16. And looking back at it, I don't have any regrets. Now there's a lot of pros going with the laptop over a desktop, one of which is you don't have to worry about a blackout, so you don't have to buy a UPS or anything like that. You don't have to deal with external exposed wires aside from the power adapter. And modern day laptops are extremely powerful. As is reasonably priced, OMEN 16 is a nice bang for your buck, especially if you're using this for content creating, gaming, and also daily use. As its external design isn't big and bulky like an Alienware or something, so it makes traveling on the go extremely convenient. Even though this is a large 16.1 inch display, it's not bad in terms of portability. And this is a machine that I personally went ahead and purchased. And its specs are also really competitive for its price tag. As it is a 1080p display that can go up to 144 Hz, there's a 4K model available. I didn't get it due to the fact that I basically bought this computer for this channel to test out future hardware like an external monitor, some VR software or VR gaming, and etc. So upon all of the research I've done, this is the one I personally picked as it's the perfect hybrid to handle everything, including casual AAA title gaming. It does have a matte anti-glare display, which does a fantastic job viewing the screen at all angles, as the display itself can go up to about 300 nits, and it has all the important I/O ports that anybody will ever need, as you do have access to a USB-A port if needed, but not only that, you do have Thunderbolt 4 with USB 4 Type-C. You have a full HDMI port, Ethernet port, a headphone jack, display port, and most importantly, you have an SD card reader. And then on the other side, you have additional USB ports right here. It does have built-in Bluetooth 5 and has support for Wi-Fi 6. Now this laptop I actually went ahead and purchased off Best Buy. And the specs that they sell on their retail stores, this one actually has a 512GB M.2 SSD, so it's super quick, with 16 gigs of DDR4 memory. Now this is the Intel version, so it does have the 11th generation i7 8-core processor with a dedicated graphics RTX 3060. So it's right there in the middle. Now some of the key elements that this laptop has in particular, the keyboard itself, it is super clicky, nice to click on and such, perfect for daily use for typing out documents, paragraphs and such. But continuing theme being a gaming laptop, it is a 4-zone RGB keyboard. So thanks to the HP innovative software, this is all fully customizable. And because of that, this is the reason why I purchased this one, because I see this HP laptop being the best bang for your buck in terms of being the ultimate hybrid computer for anybody who doesn't want to spend ridiculous amount on a gaming laptop, but at the same time have all the modern day performance to enjoy any modern day games like Forza, Halo, because this does have access to Microsoft Game Pass. So my needs for this laptop is primarily to test hardware like VR games, VR software, exclusive software that's only on the Windows side, not on the Mac, as well as the ability to also Geekbench like 4K monitors and etc. And every once in a while I will casually game on this computer on the go. And I managed to get this computer for just $1,100 at Best Buy, as it was an open box. But from my understanding, this computer does go on sale once in a while at Best Buy. So keep your eyes on it, because it can go on sale for around $1,200, which that is a solid deal. Now I did went with the open box because at that time, again, that sale wasn't going on. And I thoroughly inspected, making sure it wasn't damaged or anything like that. And indeed, it was brand new, so I had to pull the trigger, which was why I bought the open box version instead. But normally this laptop sells at Best Buy for around $1,500. But so far, after using this laptop for several hours, I still haven't run into any issues, any concerns. Even though this was an open box, so far it's been solid. Now this being a gaming laptop that does require a lot of power, the average battery life I'm able to experience is anywhere between 2 to 3 hours under a single charge. Now I have read that some reviewers have been achieving 6 hours of battery life. Unfortunately, that's not the case, but then again, I'm weird. 1 second I'm like casually typing up a document, and in a second or two I'm on Photoshop, and then I'm playing games. So your mileage may vary, but on average I'm able to get 2 hours really realistically on this machine. But I mainly always have this thing plugged into a power outlet. But this does support HP fast charging, which means 0 to 50% charge will take about 30 minutes. Now the body look, I'm actually really impressed on the overall design. I like the less is more type of look. And I also like the fact that HP is no longer using the old OMEN logo. It's just this nice multicolored triangle. It doesn't scream that this machine is expensive, so if I were to take this in the public place, it's less likely to be a target for somebody to actually attempt to steal it. And using this OME, surprisingly, it's not jam-packed with a bunch of random bloatware. Aside from McAfee, there's really not a lot of pop-ups, and the integrated OME software that this laptop came included with has everything you need right there. And I also like the fact that the keyboard, not only is the keyboard extremely easy to fully customize, you can make it do waves and such, but there's a section here that will actually allow you to update all your drivers with a single click. So not only download all those additional drivers with their own separate software, everything's literally right here. Now the chassis itself is made out of aluminum. Unfortunately, the screen, this part is hard plastic and extremely flimsy, as it's very wobbly. That's the only con that I really don't like about this laptop. But once you set it, you can just forget it. So long as you're not touching the display or moving your desk too much, it doesn't really wobble, especially when you're typing. But I could imagine if somebody's using this for a professional occasion, like showing properties with your clients, if you whip out this laptop, pop open the display, it's gonna look kind of goofy. Now it does have a built-in webcam, which the webcam resolution isn't anything impressive. Unfortunately, it's 720p. And this being a wobbly display, if you have to take a conference call, try not to touch your desk or else your conference call is gonna end up looking like this. And the microphone quality, basically this is how it sounds like. But it may be extremely wobbly, but so long as you keep your hands away from the keyboard and the mouse, you should be good, or your desk in general, because if I do this, even the smallest tap on my desk, it moves. But navigating with the trackpad isn't that bad. And yes, it does have an LED light indicating that the webcam is indeed on. But in terms of sound quality, it's not bad. It is using a stereo speaker setup from BMOs, and some of the speakers actually point downwards, which is good for gaming, I guess. But the internal fans that this machine does randomly kick on, and they do get loud. So over-the-ear headphones when gaming would be recommended. But of course, this being a Windows machine, you do have the freedom to manually control your fan speed if you want. Now the trackpad isn't bad either. It's doable, not my favorite pad. There's no glass surface or anything like that. It's just hard plastic. But when you click down, you could actually hear and feel that feedback that you actually press down. The only thing that takes a while to get used to is the left and right click though, as there's no divider, so it's gonna take a while to get used to that, but it is indeed large. But all in all, for casual gaming use, this machine is more than powerful to run all the latest AAA title games. Not at ultra settings, but I noticed that Halo and Forza usually can stay steady at 60 FPS when using the recommendation settings. I like the fact that it does have a full HDMI, so if I need to use a higher resolution display, I could just plug it into like a television or other monitor. Now, although it's not crazy heavy of a laptop, I still would not recommend resting this on your lap because it does get very uncomfortably warm. But in terms of throttling, this PC has been staying cool to the most part. Not once have I experienced it staying full throttling or anything like that. So HP did a really good job of making sure this computer stays cool. So it's not a bad laptop at all. I'm really satisfied for the price I paid for it and the price that it typically goes on sale on. This is not a bad deal. Great for content creating, as in video editing, casually gaming, and other general stuff, as this RTX card that it has. It's more than enough to keep up with modern day demands. And then the body structure, the chassis, it's solid. Again, aside from that wobbly display. And no, in terms of reliability, not once has this machine crashed. Yeah, once in a while, if I open up an app for the first time, it does freeze up on me or doesn't respond. Just open up Task Manager and just quit. It's just an issue that Windows computer typically will run into once in a while. But this one, in terms of reliability, not once has this randomly shut off on me or anything like that. It's been solid to the most part. So HP did a good job in terms of selecting the internal components that works with one another without causing any issues, as well as that HP software that they provide actually shockingly runs extremely well. So this is definitely a laptop I could personally recommend for anybody who's looking to find that sweet spot laptop. So if you're looking into the OMEN 16.1, not a bad machine. I do recommend it, as this is now going to be the main Windows computer that I'll be using primarily on this channel in terms of testing hardware or editing videos once in a while. So that right there is my review of the OMEN 16. Hope you enjoyed. If you got some good useful information out of the video, you know what to do. Greatly appreciate if you actually leave this video a like, as it does help me out a lot. And get subscribed, especially if you enjoy a lot of tech videos just like this. Now if you're wondering where you can go ahead and find this laptop, I'll be sure to include links in the video description down below, which they'll be automatically updated on any latest deals or sales that's going on for this OMEN 16. If you'd like to watch more, maybe find out more about that keyboard I previewed in today's video, I covered it in this separate video, and that is now the keyboard I'm using across as is a video YouTube is recommending specifically for you. Thank you so much for watching, take care, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya.